Each month, we sit down with state leaders and officials. And today we are sitting down with Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommy Johnson III, the sheriff's office in the middle of a dispute here with the jail trust over operations at the county jail. Earlier this week, a judge stepped in. So let's welcome in Sheriff Johnson to talk about all this now. Sheriff, thank you so much for coming in, talking about this issue. A lot of people have been keeping their eyes on here.
Certainly. And when they see this, they're like, how did we get here?
That's one of my questions.
And I think that's a fair question, because when this first started, it was a situation where the jail was in a $5.8 million deficit. They were trying to find ways to cut different things. I obviously want to offer more safety components at the courthouse, which is my responsibility. And so when they said, hey, we think we can do it cheaper, we started out down that road where I said, okay, I think both sides can win on this. I'll take my guys, we'll put them in the courthouse, bolster that safety component there. Y'all can save money by doing the transportation yourself. And both sides win. It's the way I thought it was gonna go. As we went down that process, then they started saying, no, you have to do this. Well, I am on a contract basis as it comes to transportation with our agency in the jail. And so when I look at it, how is any contract an obligation and not an elective process for both sides, the person receiving and the person providing the service?
Okay.
And so there's been a dispute in that has since garnered an administrative order by Judge Stinson, presiding Judge Stinson. What I will say is an amazing woman, a very good judge, extremely pragmatic. I mean, she is a fair person. And so, of course, we're going to comply. So we have continued the transportation. And then there's been an attorney general's opinion that has come down. Since I feel like the law and state statute is certainly on our side. And what I would tell any of our citizens, that if you have an issue, there is a professional and respectful way to handle it. And you challenge those things in the court of law. That's why they are there. And so that same model that I tell everybody to participate in, I'm going to participate in myself, because I disagree with it.
And I'm glad that you walked us through to where we are right now and answer that question of how did we get here? Like you said, a judge made that order this week that requires the sheriff's office to continue transporting inmates for now. I do want to ask you, though, because you said it here, you believe that you all do not have that responsibility to transport detainees. Can you explain to people at home, because we are hearing from the Attorney General and the DA, Vicky Bahena, saying, well, state law says it is your responsibility.
Well, they're not exactly citing state law. They are citing what the indenture says. And the indenture is created by the Board of County Commissioners. So my fear, and what I'm trying to do, is really protect the institution of sheriff now, as this has molded into something more by saying, hey, no, you have to do that. So the Board of County Commissioners is who writes that contract up, essentially. What stops any commissioner in 77 counties from writing up an indenture and now telling the sheriff, you have to do this? Because as it was explained to us at the Attorney General's office, whatever they put in that indenture, we have to do. Well, I can't have one of my colleagues telling me to do something that's not statutory my obligation. And so it's making sure that we get that settled and cleared out and make sure law is represented and not in indenture, which cannot supersede law.
I do want to mention, too, part of this order, the judge did make it clear that she didn't want to decide who is legally responsible for transporting inmates. But you did say you want a higher court to step in at this point, and you want to appeal this decision that came down from this court. Where are you on that next move?
Okay, so with that, like I said, with presiding Judge Stinson, when she went out and made this order, that's why I say so fair and pragmatic. Because she said, I'm not going to weigh in on the legality of this. We just want to make sure individuals are getting back and forth to court every day, so that they're seeing their judges, and they're getting their sentences, and they're going through the judicial process. That's fair. That is entirely fair. With the AG's order, that's what we are challenging. And so the next step is to put an agenda item on the BOCC to go out and get our own attorneys to be able to take this matter up to a higher court.
Okay, so you have to go to the Board of County Commissioners to
Yeah.
get approval to get an attorney
Yes.
to go to court to
It's-
get this appealed. Is that right?
It's almost a ceremonial process.
Okay.
Just because as a county we're transparent in how we do business and showing how we engage in different contracts and things of that nature. It has to go through meeting minutes, and this, I believe this is the appropriate way to go about it.
And you did say earlier just how we got here. I do want to mention just Monday what happened. You know, we did see some people who were supposed to be
Yes,
out
ma'am.
of jail in jail for another day. That could lead to lawsuits here later down the line. People watching this closely, what is your message to them today?
You know, I will say it's all right to disagree with people, as long as you do it respectfully and professionally. And as far as that goes with the people who didn't get transported, my guys showed up. There were 3 of us. The jail didn't send the 3 that they promised they were going to send, that we established the meeting before. And so where does that leave us? And I believe it was the DA's office that reached out to the jail and told them not to participate in that. And so inmates didn't get transported to the courthouse to see their day in court. And I'll tell you, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. But like I said, going forward, I know all I can say from the sheriff's office is that we will respectfully and professionally handle this process of disagreement with other bodies and try to represent our community the way they see us do it each and every day.
All right, Sheriff Johnson, I want to thank you for coming in. I know we have some other topics that we need to talk to you about. You went to the White House recently
Yes.
for Police Week,
Yes.
so that was exciting. You brought the coin
Yes,
here.
you got to show that off to
from
some
the
folks.
president's office. I mean, that is pretty fun. I want to get into it all,
Yep.
but we do have to let
Yep.
you go
Yep.
here. But we will definitely see you back here next month, okay?
Yep, see you next month.